All right, what's going on, guys? So I'm back with another Sunday watch list. This time I'm going to start off with ES and NQ, and then I'll move on to SPY and QQ, and then I'll move on to individual tickers, right? So I wanted to wait for futures to open. We really haven't gotten a big move yet, but overall, these are the levels that I'm going to be paying attention to. As you guys can see, this was a key level of structure right here on the ES. This 43.72 area, right? We're opening up back above it, and we have like this short-term downtrend right here, and then the overall long-term downtrend. So, we're breaking the short-term one right now. The next area we could potentially head back up to is this 4,400 to 4,411. I'm gonna be watching that area for a potential reject, or if it reclaims that, we literally have room back up to 44.36, and that is another area I will be paying attention to. For the most part, the setups, I'm gonna wait a little bit more for more setups to develop, but that is what I'm watching on the ES. So definitely getting a relief bounce around these key areas. Now, if we get really weak and get back below this structure of this area, this 43.73, then yeah, I'll be looking to go back down to Friday's low, which was down here at 43.50. Anything below 43.50, we have room to 43.26, and then look at this gap fill from 43.26 down to 43.06. Those are key levels to pay attention to. I definitely see us coming to those if we break those levels. So if we go to NASDAQ, the levels I'll be watching on the NASDAQ is going to be this area of structure right here where we rejected and we rejected here, broke above it, came back, retested, we held it here. And we have the 4-hour 21 right there. I'm going to be looking at the area for a potential reject. Now, if it reclaims that, we should see 15,000 again. And 15,000 is an important level to pay attention to. So I will keep that level on watch for potential rejects. We're definitely getting a relief bounce. We are a little bit overextended to the downside. But these could be like dead cat bounces, which is basically we get, a small relief bounce just to get sold off again. But we'll see what happens, right? I'll be waiting. For me to be really bullish, we have to reclaim some of these structures for the trend to reverse, right? The trend is your friend. And right now we currently are on downtrend. So I'll be looking for lower highs to potentially get rejects off of. So very similar with SPY. We broke this trend line right here, right? This was a trend line that was holding us up to the upside. We consolidated for a really long time during the earnings weeks, and we finally got a break back below the key level of structure, which was this area right here, the 444 area. We got multiple retests to go short, and then look at this break and retest of that trend line as well. We started heading to this structure and this 432. 432 is actually a really, really important level. If you go to the weekly chart, this was actually, I'll clear my chart. This was actually the level that we were watching for us to break above, right? Remember back here, this was the last level that was holding us from going higher, and we broke it, retested it, and we went higher, right? When we went higher, we failed to get above this level right here, which was 458. And that brought us back down to this structure right here. So this 432 to 430, this is really like the last thing holding us up, kind of like how it was the last thing holding us down from going lower or from going higher. Yeah, that was the last thing that was holding us up. Right now is the last thing from us going lower. Potential move back lower if we get back below that, right? Because that'll give us a move back down into the 420s, really. So that is an important level to watch. Before 420, it'll probably be like 426, 425. And we have the weekly 21. If you guys go back to 2021, right? Notice how when we were in this bull run, we got a pullback back to the 9 and the 21. Really, it was like the 21 moving average EMA that held us up though, right? We got 3 weeks of selling, and then we got to push up. 3 weeks of selling, push up from that 21, and then we got 3 weeks of selling, a push back up from the 21, 3 weeks of selling, push back up from the 21, and here we are at that 21 EMA again, right? 3 weeks of selling. Do we get another push back up from the 21? That is like kind of like the last thing that is determining whether we go higher or not. Not going to be biased or anything, just going to wait for the price action at that level. So for potential rejects here on SPY, I will be paying attention to this recent structure right here, 436, right? That was the recent area of structure. We're already kind of like getting above that on the future side. So if it reclaims that, like I said, it has room back up into 440, 441. And that is the next area of structure right here. And the next area of structure will be the 444 area. So I don't know if I see it getting up that high, but if it does, I'll be watching 440, 442 areas for potential rejects, and 430, 432 to 430 potential bounces, right? So we're kind of stuck in a little bit of a range. So I wouldn't be surprised if we consolidate around these areas. I really want to see some clean price action and a break of some of these levels for us to get like really good trades off of, right? But that's what we would have to wait for. As far as individual tickers, Meta looks pretty good for a reject around this recent area of it was previous demand. I noticed how we got rejected off of it as supply, broke above it, held it as demand, and now we're back below it. So if we come back, retest it, it's 288, 290 area, 288, 289 area. That could be a good potential reject. Now, if it reclaims this is going to be a good area for us to take bounces off of and get a push back up into the 295s to potentially 300s. But we'll see what happens. As of now, I'm looking at it as a reject level. The other thing I was watching was Amazon. Amazon is in between. There's two scenarios on Amazon, right? Notice where I have both of these green lines. This was a previous supply zone. See, every time we come up here, we get rejected back down into 127. But when we break above it, we get rejected from 136 to 137. And then we get a push back down into this 132 to 131, right? So 132, 131 demand, 136, 137 supply. And I noticed I was trying to hold it above, and now we broke back below and we're rejecting back down. So right now we're in between both of these ranges. So there's two scenarios we could do, right? If we come down into the demand zone, we could take bounces if the price action is clean to get a push back up into 136 to 137. Now, if the market already opens up in here, we could take rejects and short it back down into 131 to 130, 132, 131, right? So those are two scenarios that we could take on Amazon. So those are some of the setups that I'm looking on Amazon. Netflix had a picture perfect Head and Shoulders, right? Like it doesn't get cleaner than this. I'd call this out in my group chat. Let me see if I could draw it out right. Doesn't get like much. This was super clean, right? Doesn't get much better than this. And the neckline was like this right here, that 410 level. Once we broke 410, it was a flush straight to 400. Right now, we're probably going to get another retest of that 411. So if we start showing any signs of weakness, and this would be like the retest on the higher time frame. So potential rejects around 410 to 412. Definitely keep an eye on that for a push back down to 396. We break 396, we literally have nothing but room back down into 385 and so on, right? So nothing too crazy, right? On the watch list so far, just trying to keep it simple. Might see some relief bounces, and we'll see where the market goes from here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the Sunday watch list. Keep it short for now, and I'll keep you guys updated on setups that I'm watching throughout the week. But I hope you guys have a good trading week.